There are a whole range of impacts, of course. The ones we see are obviously on infrastructures, on people, but also on animals. Again, we have to remember that wildfires are nothing new on this planet, also in the Mediterranean. But what we are really seeing is that they are occurring more often, they burn larger areas, and they very often burn more intensely. So that also means that the ecology is affected much more strongly. It takes much longer for the vegetation to recover. In some cases, it takes decades to recover. We are decimating animal populations in some cases, but there are also other effects, like you mentioned the smoke, for example. Around the world, we have about 300,000 premature deaths, human deaths, just because of wildfire smoke. And this, of course, is getting worse as well. Or if you look at the erosion events that often occur after wildfires. So, for example, in 2017, we had a massive landslide in California that killed 17 people, which is essentially triggered by a very severe burn, which removes the vegetation, that protects the soil. And if that heavy rainfall then falls onto that soil, we get erosion. A final point is something that we also see more frequently is water contamination after wildfires. Ashes that are found in the landscape after the fire, they can be transported into waterways, lead to fish kill, but also contaminate drinking water reservoirs.
I don't think a lot of people are thinking about the tentacles, the long-range implications that you just described, are they?
No, unfortunately not. But having said that, more and more people are connecting the dots. And just coming back to the wildfires that we've seen here in the UK, we've had, within a single day, 60 structures destroyed. This is nothing unusual. For example, in California, it would still make the news, but it would be one of many events. Whereas here, we've never had this level of destruction in the UK. So I think there is a real wake-up call where people are actually connecting the dots, and people realize this is happening now. And I'd also like to add here that what was discussed just before in terms of the rapid change that we're seeing. The climate models have predicted, of course, an increase in what we call fire weather. So conditions that are very dry, that are very hot, but also that are preceded by low rainfall. And these days with extreme fire weather have increased by 54% over the last 40 years and more rapidly than the climate models have predicted. And this is going to get worse without a doubt.